Hello, my friends. Welcome on board to EP Explorer LK. Today we are exploring London in the most classic way possible. On a bus. Sit back, relax, and let's discover the city together. As the bus rolls past the bustling streets, our friendly tour guide begins to share fascinating stories, from royal traditions to quirky local legends. Every turn comes alive with history and culture. Listening to the guide, you realize this isn't just a sightseeing, it is storytelling on wheels. Without wasting time, now we would like to go to the guide's voice. And in advance, I would like to thank for joining me on this guided bus tour of London. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more travel adventures. Until next time, keep exploring.
It actually took more time to put the lions here than to build the entire square. It took more than 20 years, believe it or not. First, they couldn't choose an artist. Eventually, they went with Edwin Landseer, who was the favorite of Queen Victoria. But he only specialized in painting horses and dogs, had no experience with lions. At one point, he requested a dead lion from London Zoo to make his sketches, so they had to wait for a few years for the lion to die. And he took so long that, it started decomposing and the neighbors were complaining. Lovely lines. Take a look on your right hand side. That's the statue of a man on a horse from where they measure all the distances. And he is King Charles I, the only king of England executed by his own people. In the middle of the 17th century, his head was chopped off right in the street. And for 11 years, this country became a republic with no king and no queen. After that, they decided to go back to the good old jolly days of monarchy. And so this is Whitehall, the street of government, where almost every building is a different ministry or different government department. On your right, the columns and seahorses, that's the Admiralty, where Nelson came to receive his orders. And on the left, you'll see lots of pubs. As all the ministers also like to go and let their hair down. Public houses, they are places where the British socialize. There's no culture of inviting people home unless they're very close friends or family, certainly not colleagues. With colleagues after work, everybody would be down in a pub for fish and chips and a pint of ale. And you can easily recognize pubs, dark facade, golden letters, lots of flower baskets, and a picture as well. And that's because when these pubs were established, most people were illiterate. They couldn't read or write. So for them to understand the place, there had to be a picture. Take a look on your right hand side. In a moment, you're going to see a black gate. Look through the gate. There's a small street called Downing Street. And at number 10 Downing Street is the residence of the British Prime Minister. Look right through the gate. On the right hand side, the black building. The current Prime Minister lives and works. Revenue and customs, taxes in this country are very high. Income tax is up to 45%. It's not the highest in Europe, but it is quite high. And we are coming to the political heart of London, where you'll see the Houses of Parliament. This is Parliament Square. And on each side of the square, there are 4 pillars of state. So on your left, you'll see Parliament. They make laws. That's the legislative branch of government. Here on this side, Whitehall, where all the government ministries, prime minister, they execute laws. Executive branch. On the right will be the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, judicial, and straight ahead is a church. So legislative, executive, judicial, and the church all come in this one location. And Parliament, by the way, British Parliament is one of the oldest in the world. It's about 800 years old. Not the building though, the institution. And you could visit on a weekend, on Saturday. It's open as a museum. You can go for a guided tour. They take you inside. And also when the members of parliament are on holiday in the summer. Otherwise, you can also visit. You can watch democracy in action. On Wednesdays, I think, is the questions and answers with the prime. Parliamentary estate is all around us. The building itself is not as old as it looks. It's only about 150 years old. And on the other side, in the distance, you can see a square tower with a flag. It's called Victoria Tower. And here on the left, you'll see the famous clock tower, nicknamed Big Ben. Big Ben. So you're gonna start seeing Big Ben here on the left in a moment, at the next traffic light. I'll tell you a secret, you can't really see Big Ben. I'll tell you a secret, you can't see Big Ben. No, you can only hear it. Because Big Ben is actually not the tower and is not even the clock. It's a bell. It's a 13.5-ton cracked bell which chimes the hour. So at 7 o'clock, it's gonna, in 10 minutes, it's gonna chime 7 times. Everybody calls the whole tower Big Ben. Up until recently, it didn't even have a name. It was just the clock tower. In 2012, when Queen Elizabeth II had her Diamond Jubilee, 60 years, they realized not much was named after her. So they feverishly started naming things. And it became known as Elizabeth Tower. But nobody calls it that. Everybody still calls it Big Ben. So when you take a picture and put it on your Instagram, make sure you mark it correctly. It's Elizabeth Tower. So Parliament Square, take a look on your right hand side, and on the corner you see the famous British Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, with his eye on the pub. He did like a drink or two. And on the left, the famous clock tower nicknamed Big Ben. Not just British Prime Ministers are the world leaders. On the corner where the police is in the green vests, arms open for a quick hug, is Nelson Mandela, the President of South Africa. There's Mahatma Gandhi as well, immediately at your 3 o'clock. There he is. Take a look on your left hand side, and the building in the middle with the big roof, that is Westminster Hall. That is the only surviving part of Parliament which didn't burn down 150 years ago. And that's the venue for famous events. That's where the Queen lay in state. Late Queen Elizabeth II, she died in 2023. There was a queue, a long queue for 4 days. She lay in state, and some of my friends queued for 22 hours to say goodbye to her. So that's the beautiful bit on the left, and on the right hand side is Westminster Abbey, the royal church. For the last 1,000 years, all the kings and queens of this country have been crowned in this church. It's a place of coronations. It's also a place of commemorations. All the great and the good of this country are buried inside. People like Sir Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens, about 3,500 people either rest inside or have their memorials. And it's also a place of school, thanks to medieval kings' passion for hunting, that they kept so much green spaces. And notice these trees as well on your left. You can find them, I think, in Kashmir. It's called Chinar down there. Yeah, here we call it London Plane. London Plane. Plane, and it's the most common tree. You'll find them all over London and all over Europe, in fact, and that's because it fights pollution very well. Look at the bark of the tree. can you see it sheds off like a snake of a skin? So it absorbs all the pollution from the air and then just cleanses itself by removing its bark. Slightly shameless, undressing in public. What can you do? And the leaf looks a bit like a maple. Yeah, so it's from the same family, sycamore, family of trees. But it's got a rather small root system. So it's perfect, doesn't take much space and fights pollution, so perfect for urban environment. It's not a native tree though, it's a hybrid of an American and an Asian plane. So nice scrapie migrant, survives very well. Take a look on the left hand side, and across the river you can see a red brick building. That's a palace called Lambeth Palace, and that's the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, who is the spiritual leader of the Church of England. So this country has its own church, Church of England, and the king is the head, but the spiritual leader is called Archbishop of Canterbury. So it's a Protestant church, by the way, not Catholic. And notice this bridge as well, painted red, and that's because it's sitting next to the House of Lords, who sit on red benches. On the other side, the House of Commons, they sit on green benches, and so the next bridge is actually colored green. Well, they like all these little things. And on your left hand side, this white stone building is MI5. That's our security services. MI stands for military intelligence. There used to be up to 19 sections of military intelligence by the Second World War, all looking after different regions, you know. Today they say there's only two, MI5 and MI6. MI6 is the spy territory, James Bond stuff. Yeah? Or at least that's what we are led to believe. I don't know exactly. So MI5, they look for us here. MI6, they look out for you guys out there.